we should stand up and say, how stupid do you think we are? Because that's really counting on human stupidity. Accepting anything that anybody in the medical establishment is saying, no matter what, and then do what they say, which will definitely lead you to cancer and chemo, okay? And the case that you were discussing, and I already have seen it, about that guy, the Lebanese guy that was giving chemo to patients. Yeah, that case. You can see why they want to do. Look at the money involved. Yes, he didn't get all the money that he charged Medicare for, but he still got 91 million. 91 million are nothing to spit on, okay? Not the spit on the way they were obtained, but I'm just saying, 91 million? Yeah, and that's what the insect was trying to indicate, that we made millions.
Yeah. And how many hours would you say you put in, Mr. Simmons, for that 300 a week that you were making?
You know, you don't want to be obnoxious, but you should have answered. How many minutes of effort do you have to put to get $350?
Yeah. You probably made that 3 times in an hour.
I mean, come on, guys. $350 a week is poverty level. If you have it as your only job.
Not in Oklahoma.
It's still poverty level, whether it happens in Oklahoma or not, thanks to you-know-who.
Still have a few too many teeth, and I don't play a banjo, so.
Yeah, well, you know. And the person that pushed the not increase the wages was, facelift face.
No.
That's their only interest. Okay.
Botox.
Yeah. Okay. Then there is another article, because you know where all of this is leading to. All the fundraising effort that are out there trying to push people to give more and more money, because the billion they have is not enough. Okay. This article is dated the 18th. Okay? So it's pretty recent. Scary decline in funding for cancer research. Scary decline. This doctor is saying, huh?
I said, I'm terrified.
Oh, yeah. You especially, you are not going to get your 300, which you don't anymore, but $350.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe what I'm doing now for that $350 a week.
Yeah. And then, you were 10 minutes over time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Watch that handle time.
Okay. This article claims that in 2010, the funding for NIH, and of course everybody knows who NIH is, but the National Institute of Health, but has eroded.
I'm sorry, you must have just turned your head away from the mic or something. I couldn't.
Yeah, because I'm trying to read this article that is written in minuscule.
Sorry.
In minuscule printing. Okay. NIH funding, which means the money that the government set aside for NIH, has eroded by 3.5 billion. Not million, billion.
Wow. Still not enough.
And last year, it was cut by an additional 1.6 billion. 1.6 billion. See, I have a hard time viewing NIH and what NIH does, and most of all what it doesn't do, and spending billions. Now, if it was cut 3.6 billion, that means that they have still plenty more billion coming in. And if it was cut an additional 1.6 million, was because they still had another a lot of billion coming in. For what? What does the NIH do? Nothing.
Count money?
Nothing at all. And this guy, oh, this is really scary because now, today, the budget of NIH is less than it was in 2009. Well, obviously, since in 2010 was cut at 3.5 billion. But why would NIH need billion? You tell me why. For what? Okay, let's go back to last century.
Raid people and put them out of business.
No, it's not NIH that does that. But NIH is supposed to fund valuable projects. Okay, so let's go back to last century. Of course, last century name only because it's late 20th century. And I unfortunately cannot remember the exact year when this happened. It happened in Little Rock, but I don't remember the exact years. If it was, I don't know, 96, I don't know. That's just a guess, okay? And I don't have the papers to go back and look at so I can remember because, you know, all the turmoil of my life and who knows where all the papers are and who knows where they are gone. And they might have even been confiscated by FDA because they were taking out the proof, the package of information I was providing to proof of evidence of the validity of what we were doing.
You're talking about Dr. Boris's paper that plagiarized your...
No, that was for the trial, the civil trial, you know, trying to rip off money from me and the company. No, that was a paper. See, it must have been 96, but I don't know, okay? I don't believe it's earlier, but anyway, just a wild guess. We were trying to still raise funding for our project till we got to the point that we said we're never going to get any, and we followed the advice of the National Institute of Technology. But before then, we again tried to get funding, and we talked to this guy that we knew at NIH. That was the director of technology. And he arranged for a meeting to be held in Little Rock, and he had all these people coming in to listen to our presentation. And we presented all the information, everything. They were supposed to bring in an expert, and the only expert they brought in, and now somebody that actually was familiar with lasers and what laser can and cannot do, but somebody that I guess was a professor of optics, but he was not into lasers. Okay, that's not the right expert. And the stupid thing that men said are unbelievable. We had the evidence on how we couldn't treat cancer at that point, but with the tattoo, and how the light was affecting the tattoo and only the tattoo on the arm of Barracuda. And we did the presentation, and of course this idiot from the school in Little Rock said made the comment, well, to make it look like it's only affecting within the edge of the tattoo, you just can go with the laser and only cover the edges. Ha! And how are you going to do that? You're not going to do that. You're not going to be able to do that and only limit it to the edges, especially with the type of laser we were using that had a diverging beam. So just a bunch of malarkey. But anyway, representative of NIH were there, and other jerks, assorted jerks, and a couple of investors. And we brought in the press, and the guy that was directing the meeting had a fit that I had brought in the press. Okay? Like I was violating something. But that's beside the point. It was just such a disgusting experience all along for years and years. The representative of NIH said, okay, to me, that this is something to be supported by private money. Okay? So my question is, what the money that NIH rakes in for supporting research is going to. Oh, this project now should be supported by private money. Why? It's a valid project. We did all the data. We already had, well, a file for the patent, and the patent was pending, but we already had that. Why NIH couldn't fund it? So that's why now comes the question. Okay, NIH is getting billion. Where are they going to? Certainly not to regular research. So I like to know where they're going to. And why should they have more money? And why is this money scary? Lack of funding is scary? Because it's not supporting worthless research. And by the way, let me tell you something else too. And that's probably what's happening at Sloan Kettering too. If a research is done in the university, the head researcher is not getting any more money than his professor's salary, not anything of significance. The main thing he's getting is less hour of teaching, so he has more time for research. He's not getting a better office. He's not getting any perks. This I know because I have lived in the environment of university research. And I also remember years ago when the superconductivity was hot, and there was this guy in Fayetteville, Arkansas, the University of Arkansas, that he had gotten this funding for his superconductivity research, which was an empirical research, so to me it's worthless, and actually didn't go much anywhere. But the money that he got, it didn't go to him. He was still having a rinky-dinky office, the size of a closet at the end of the hallway. And he was doing his regular work and just doing research. They were not. The money goes to the university to spend who knows for what. Okay? So when they get this donation, they're not going to the right person. Things are not going right. Things are not done honestly. It's just disgusting. But NIH should have more billion. Yeah, take it out of the tax money. Take it out of social services. Take it out of people try to help them get jobs. No. Those are unimportant issues. Get money to NIH. Get more money for research, because one day, heaven knows when, we're going to find a solution to cancer. What they have accomplished over the years is getting closer and closer to make cancer a chronic disease. So people are treated for years and years. They eventually die anyway, but they're treating for years and years. And they're suffering. They're having a disgusting life. They're still going to die, but while they live, it's a lot of money to the medical. And that's why people want to go into providing chemo, like that guy we discussed, because of the outrageous amount of money involved in chemo. That's why they don't want to hear anything else but chemo. Because of the money, nothing else. Even radiation brings money. More than I was bringing in. But it's still nothing, compared to the chemo. And even radiation, just so much radiation you can give them. So, but chemo, they have done it in a way that the patient lasts a lot longer. And one of the things they have done, use what is called CAM, which is complementary and alternative medicine. And what they have discovered is, as you well know, that patient lasts longer on chemo if they also take supplements. So double expense. They still die, but they last longer. If they die too soon, they don't make the money they are supposed to. So it's a waste of the cancer patient. It's a cut in their revenue. And their attitude is all the money for cancer should go to the medical establishment, no one else. A little bit to the alternative because they can make the patient last long. And on that issue, I like to discuss an article That was printed earlier this month, but I didn't get to talk. I wanted to, but I didn't get to talk about it last week because we